Hey, Erik, I'm curious how you judge a defense's performance. What areas do you think are most important as you go back and look at a game?
Well, number one thing is if we win the game, that's pretty good. But I think you gotta take into account what you're trying to get done, and every game's a little differently. There's certain stats that everybody's judged on. Sometimes you keep the points down, the yards are up. Sometimes the yards are way down and the points are up, and there's got to be a good balance. You know, Obviously we've got to be. A little better on third down, but we're taking the ball away right now and scoring points for our team. There's some good things happening and some not so good things happening, and that we've got to get corrected. But overall, we need to keep the points down and we need to win football games.
Sean Callahan, Husker Online.
Hey, Coach, did you guys give out the black shirts this week? And if you did, can you name the guys that you gave black shirts to?
I did. We did give out some black shirts this week. I thought the guys, they finally practiced the way we wanted them to last week, and we had a pretty good performance. And the black shirts need to set a new standard. To be honest with you, if you want to ask the guys about it, that's fine. I think that we live in a world where the black shirts mean more to me than social media, and Twitter doesn't have to know about everything. And I think it's a special thing right now. And I think if you want to ask those kids about who got them, that's great. But right now it's an in-house kind of situation where this tradition just means more to me than having to put everything on social media right now.
Andrew Ward, KN.
Hey, Erik, I know that Ben Stilley had the big play to end the game on Saturday, but just what kind of role has he played with the bringing up of those younger defensive linemen?
Ben's done a great job with, he's been here for a long time now, 5 years, and he's kind of seen the ups and downs, and he's been, one of the only D linemen that's been in the room. There's a couple other ones, but one of the only ones that's been in the room for all 3 years since we've been here, and he's starting to really understand the system and what we're trying to get done. And he's done a great job of helping those young kids develop their technique and their knowledge of the system. So I really appreciate what he does with those guys. I mean, he's in there watching film with them all the time, and they're asking him questions. If they can't find Coach Tuioti or Coach Washington or myself, they're asking him, and he's got them up there studying film on the opponent. So he's done a great job with those young guys.
Sam McEwen, Omaha World Herald.
Erik, thanks for doing this. Hey, you guys have used a lot of different personnel in that front seven, but I've noticed, and I think other reporters have noticed it, sometimes you'll have 2 defensive linemen in and maybe 5 linebackers. How'd you guys kind of develop how you're rotating your front 3 slash front 4 this year, and how you're determining the personnel, because it seems to have been effective, and it's also a little bit different than what you've done in the past.
Yeah, I think it's kind of what we've always wanted to get to. A big contributing factor in that is just developing depth on our football team. There's been times in our tenure that we've had to leave a lot of guys out there for a lot of snaps, and I truly believe that the more guys you can play in a football game, the better each one of them plays. There's certain guys obviously that you want out there for more snaps than others, but usually when that starter, whoever your starter is, even if he's a Pro Bowler or whatever, he's not going to play as good on rep 7 as the next guy will be on his play 1. So we want to try to keep those guys fresh. Like I said, developing depth. Another reason is there's guys that have earned the right to play through their practice habits and just what they've done when they've got their chances in the football game. And I really like it right now because it's creating a very energetic, competitive spirit in practice. Guys are hungry for reps, and some of the older guys know that the boogeyman's coming to get them if they don't do their job, because these young guys are really pushing the envelope right now. So it's developing a good sense of competition in practice. But once again, those guys have earned the right to play. And like you said, there's certain packages we want to deploy versus certain personnel groups the offense is putting out there, down and distance specific, and all those types of things. So just the more things we can do with those guys and the more they understand, the better we're going to be on defense.
Do you call that a 2-4-5 or a 2-5-4? What? How should we refer to that setup when it's just two down linemen and all the linebackers?
Now, you guys call it all kinds of stuff. I don't call it anything, but we just call that's our nickel set right now. And basically, just like, if you've watched, the Alabamas and the Georgias over the years, and many other, even Wisconsin, when they get in their nickel personnel grouping, those outside backers truly become the defensive ends, and those defensive ends in the 3-4 truly become the defensive tackles, the nose guard in the 3 technique. It's just in 11 personnel and 10 personnel, you're getting more to 4-down defense, more what you would call 4-2-5 or 4-3 defense, depending on what you call JoJo. Some people call him a nickel, some people call him a linebacker in that set. But that's our version of 4-down spacing. So whatever you guys want to call it, I call it nickel.
Parker Gabriel.
Yeah, Eric, I was going to ask about JoJo. He's played pretty much every snap for you defensively. And I know you talked about him, his ceiling being whatever he wanted it to be before the season. Have you seen him take that step toward playing more within the system? Because clearly the big playability is still there too.
Yeah, he's done a really nice job of playing within the system, and he's taken steps in the right direction. I still think the ceiling's high for him. I still think you haven't necessarily seen the best version of JoJo Domann that you can, but he's playing really good football right now, and he's doing his job. He hasn't been going rogue or anything like that. He's playing within the defense, and he's making the plays when his number's called. And I think, when you're a really good football player, that's what you do. You help other people, other teammates make plays when their number's called, and then when your number gets called, you make one. But I still don't think any of us have seen the ceiling on JoJo Domann yet.
Evan Bland, World Herald.
Hey, Eric, just wanted to ask you about Illinois. They haven't announced a quarterback for the weekend, and it seems like whoever they have out there really, they have a different kind of offense for that. I'm just curious, how fine is the line as far as when you guys prepare from going too far down the rabbit hole, preparing for one guy as opposed to just kind of working on what you guys do best in your base stuff?
Yeah, and I don't think it's it's not like a whole grade switch in their offense. Obviously there's different tweaks when number one's in the football game, and when Peter's in the football game, there's different tweaks involved. So we've got to just tweak our scheme a little bit. But, like I've told you guys before, I think, we see a running quarterback quite a bit. Obviously we've seen Adrian and Luke quite a bit, and Logan Smothers. So we've got some experience defending the quarterback run. Our guys know that things are going to change a little bit depending on who's in the football game, but they've also got to get ready for anything. I don't think, it's not like when Isaiah Williams is in there, he's not going to throw the football, and it's not like when Peters is now, he can pull the ball and make you pay now. He can run the football too. So I think you got to be ready for the whole package. Just understand the tweaks that are going in when each guy gets in the football game.
A couple more quick ones for Coach here. Steve Sipple, Journal Star.
Hi, Coach. Nebraska's Lubick was asked about this too. Nebraska has been outscored 59-6 in the second half. Is that a stat that gets the staff's attention? Is it discussed much? Why or why not?
Yeah, I think you're always trying to figure out, what your deficiencies are. How can you make things better? A big focus for us last week was starting fast and not getting off the field early on the first drive of the game and the first drive of the second half, which we've done, and now we just have to finish football games. And I think we did a good job at the end of the game. It's kind of turned into the focus of in the middle of the third quarter to kind of the middle of the fourth quarter, and just playing with the same intensity that we play with throughout that first half and throughout the beginning of the third quarter. I don't think it's scheme or anything like that. I think it's just we've got to be dialed in and we've got to play complementary football. And that's, when the offense gets a 3 and out, defense got to get the ball back. When the defense gets a turnover, offense, it has to score a touchdown. When there's a good or bad play on special teams, offense or defense have to respond. So complementary football is a huge piece to finishing football games, especially in the second half.
From a layman's point of view, it looked like your safeties played well. Was that a good day for your veteran safeties?
Yeah, I thought everyone in the back end played a really good football game. I thought, across the board, there obviously there's things to fix. There's no doubt about it. But the guys played really hard. They're playing physical right now. They're tackling good. But those safeties in the corners did a great job, especially, towards the end of the game. We put them in a lot of man coverage situations, and they answered the bell. So I was very proud of the way that those guys responded.
Last one for Coach Brian Christopherson, 24/7.
Hey, Erik, that's kind of a follow-up to what Sipple was just asking. And I was going to ask about Deontay Williams specifically, and not just the play he had, but a guy who, came back from not playing at all last season. Just what it's like as a coach to see a guy like that work his way back and play like he is now.
I'd say it's a really good thing to see him come back, and not just because he helps our team, which he certainly does, but just to see a guy that loves football, lose the ability to play football because of something out of his own control, and then being able to rehab that injury, get his surgery, stay locked in, stay part of the team, be a good teammate, continue to learn football and study film, and then have a chance to come back this year and play well is really exciting for me, just because I'm so happy for the young guy. I'm happy for me and the rest of the guys too, because he makes us a better football team. But I'm really happy for him that he gets to continue to do something he loves when it was taken away from him out of his own control last year. So it's awesome to be around him every day.